kind of scary.
Yeah, that's very.
It took 56 days to shoot and 11 months to edit.
I was going to say. Yeah, I could see that.
That's why that's a sign of a great movie when it takes 11 months.
And then here, because I had wondered, what the film language was. So the frequent cuts to black and white, where dialogue is repeated with a slightly different intonation, is called vertical cutting. And the idea behind that technique is to create an outer moment, which would be the color footage, and an inner moment, the black and white footage, happening at the same time. For example, like in the opening scene where the waitress is taking Mickey's order, in the outer scene, she's taking his order, but in the inner scene, she's actually flirting with him. So it's showing like two different ideas and two different realities happening at the same time, which I thought was super cool. There's a lot of subliminal, tiny cuts interwoven into scenes, like Wayne Gale's character. He's like dressed as a devil and like his blood is dripping from his face. That happens like later on. And then when that cowboy is hitting on Mallory in the diner scene, there's like a quick cut of Woody Harrelson like covered in blood as well. Really interesting. Like, that you saw it. So he's not trying to sneak anything past us, but the buildup of that over time is really disturbing.
A lot of images like that.
I remember that was one of the main critiques of this movie at the time, at least where I was at in Texas. This satanic movie. It's got these subliminal messages and kids are going to start doing all this crazy stuff. And I get why they were saying that, because it did have those cuts and stuff like that. But everybody knows that that's all kind of garbage these days. But back then they were making a much bigger deal out of it. But they also thought that like Ozzy Osbourne was playing things backwards to make kids commit suicide and stuff like that. So Amber's going to start a side podcast called Inside the Mind of a Real Murderer.
We talked about the rear projection happening. So the projected footage was shot prior to principal photography, which I thought was really cool. And then they was edited together later and projected live on the screen during filming. So that wasn't done in post. They actually had that running on a green screen behind them, which I thought was kind of
cool.
Because I never wondered. Those are things that you can put in post.
Afterward. Yeah, you'd figure it was done after.